So you're probably an average reader, an avid reader, or maybe you're a voracious reader and you have read several books. And by now you thought that, well, I should be able to play my saxophone better than I'm able to play it now. But somehow you're not making the progress. You're not where you ought to be, where you know you can be, where you should be. And so you keep moving from book to book. Now, I like reading books, although I am not a fan of novels and fiction. It just doesn't reach to my mind. Give me something that is practical. Like this book right here, I've read this book about 4 or 5 times, cover to cover. That is the kind of impact, I've changed one habit in my life because of this book, and as a result I've been able to change a lot of my habits, including my habit of practicing on my saxophone. It doesn't matter how many books you have read. You could have read 10 books, 100 books, 1,000,000 books, right? I once heard Darren Hardy and he says that it's better to read one book 30 times than to read 30 books, because you can distill the information, you can assimilate the information. Having read this book 4 times was not what caused me to get the results that I got. What really made the difference was just a second. So it's not the books that you've read, but do you understand? Just a second. Maybe you're saying to yourself, well then, if I'd gone to a good school, maybe then you'd be a better player. If only I could get a sax teacher, or maybe if I just watch some more YouTube videos, then surely you would improve, right? And so you may be following Nathan on Saxologic. I know this guy, like I follow this guy. For a while I've been following him. I remember when the guy used to make the videos in front of the green screen and he wasn't even using the darn thing. I like the guy. I actually gave him a name. I call him the Joker because he's so funny. Like he makes his videos and the guy knows what he's doing. I know he's now in school and he's a beast on that saxophone. But you should stop watching Nathan. Do you understand? Just a second. Then you may be saying you're not following the right guy, and so maybe you go over to Jay Metcalf at Better Sax and you're watching Jay, and Jay knows what he's talking about. Man, the man even has his own merch, his own saxophone brand. Think about that. Right? He knows what he's doing. He has been in the business a long time. And so I've even taken courses from Jay. And so I know that he can teach, and I've followed his videos and he knows what he's doing. But you should stop following Jay in just a second. And then I ran into Dr. Wally. And I remember the first time I ran into Dr. Wally's channel, I said to my wife that I saw this guy on the internet, on YouTube, and he was teaching in a suit. Maybe that's the way they do it when you go to great schools like Juilliard and Berkeley and so on. I've never been to those places. I don't know what Berkeley's like. I don't know what Juilliard is like. I call this guy the suit guy, and I respect the man. The man can teach. He knows what he's doing. And I've learned some stuff from him, like I have from others too. So he's a great guy and I like the guy. He knows what he's doing. But you should stop watching Dr. Wally if, just a second, maybe you're not even a beginner, you're not even an intermediate, but you are following somebody who knows the craft. And so maybe you're following Chad LB. No, this guy I've called the guru. A lot of what Chad teaches is about 99.99% above my head, above my pay grade, right? That's how good he is, right? And so he's just like this beast on the saxophone, right? And so you may be following him, but I would like to say to you too, you need to stop following Chad. Just a second. So it's not the teacher, it's not the book, it's not the saxophone. It could be a $500 saxophone, or it could be a $2,000 saxophone. As I've mentioned before, you should stop watching these guys if, just a second, I know they're not just making videos on YouTube to make you feel happy. They're not just making videos on YouTube to make you feel good about yourself. They are making videos on YouTube and on their various platforms so that they can help you as a saxophone player to become better. We often hear the phrase thrown around that knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power, because if knowledge was power, then everybody in the world would have power. But most people don't use the knowledge. So information, we are information, like I heard Dr. Jordan Peterson says. So what if you could take one idea, like I took one idea, I worked on one habit, and then working on that one habit, which is waking up at 4:50 every single morning for the last 500 and plus days. Rain, shine, sun, moon, snow, heat, cold. I have gotten up out of my bed at 4:50 every single morning. One habit, and that has snowballed the other habits that I have. So what if you could take like one idea from one of these guys, from Nathan, from Jay, from Dr. Wally, or from Chad, and you just rinse and repeat that? Then you will begin to see growth. But if all you're doing is watching, and you are just caught in the crazy eight loop of consumerism and not really producing from what you have watched, then you're not going to see any progress, because you're passive, watching on, wanting to enjoy what is being presented. If it's the pixels you're there for, I'm telling you, you're in it for the wrong thing. And so you have to take the information and you have to assimilate the information. You have to put the information in action, right? Because there is so much to learn in music. There's so much to learn on the saxophone that you can feel overwhelmed already. But the point is, take one idea from Dr. Wally, take one idea from Nate, take one idea from Jay, or take one idea from Chad, and you implement that into your daily practice, into your daily routine. And then after a while, you keep adding to that, and over time you will see your improvement. But if all you're doing is passively reading, passively watching, right? Michael Jordan, for example, one of the greatest of all times, you think when he watches the games of others, he just watches passively and let it slide by? Stop watching and start applying, right? Stop sitting passively by with the information and start using the information. One idea, just one idea. Okay, it's a scale. What, a blues scale? A major scale? A Mixolydian scale? What kind of scale? Any scale, but take it and apply it, right? Put it in your practice, and then you practice it over and over and over and over, because you practicing it once and leaving it, it doesn't make a difference. But if you practice it over and over and you rinse and repeat the process, then after a while, then you are able to move from point A to point B in your playing. So it's not the books, it's not the teacher, right? It's not the school, it's not the information, it is the application of the information that is going to make the greatest difference. And right now, if you're watching this video and you don't take anything that I say from it, it would have made no sense to you, right? You would have just wasted your last 5 or 10 minutes watching me, right? Talking. Because now you need to do less talking and start doing, right? Applying the information. So I'm encouraging you. You can do it, right? You can do it. So you start. Take one idea from any of these great sax players. It doesn't have to be Jay or Nate or Dr. Wally or Chad. It could be from whoever you follow online or whoever is your teacher. But then you have to take the information, assimilate it into your practice routine, and you apply it. And then it will add to who you're becoming as a saxophone player, right? So you take the information and you go on, you play, right? You push, you play until something happens.